So, what's really interesting to me is if you're trying to solve a mathematics problem that is very difficult, it's often helpful to change the frame of reference. You can find out, hey, okay, we're going to change this to a different frame of reference, and suddenly the problem becomes easier. And so looking at Alzheimer's from the standpoint of what is your body trying to do? What is it trying to respond? It's not trying to give you Alzheimer's. It's trying to deal with the day-to-day vicissitudes of human life.
Yeah.
And so the idea there is, if you look at this as just what you said, reframing it in a way that makes sense to human physiology, now suddenly it all makes sense, and you can see how to avoid it, how to treat it, and what's going on and why we've been having such trouble developing a single drug that does everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you say, you can't really do a silver bullet with this. You need a silver buckshot. And I love that quote by you. And it really seems like what you have done over years is to apply a bigger flashlight, a flashlight with a bigger area, to really figure out what is causing these issues, to tackle them appropriately, because it seems like for many years it's been a very narrow beam looking at one thing or one target. And that kind of leads me to one quick question. Why do you believe that um, for lack of a better word, the current medical system has been a little slow to your findings and the science that you guys have published?
Yeah. So this has been a huge issue with pushback. And, what's happened is no different than, imagine that the entire infrastructure is set up for gasoline powered cars. And then someone comes along and says, well, hey, what about electrics? Like, well, the infrastructure is not there. The oil barons are going to be against it. The car manufacturers are going to be against it. Look, electric cars tried to make a debut many years ago and were shot down. Now, of course, it's taken some time and they've come back, and now we're realizing that maybe this is a good thing. And of course, there are hybrids that have done a great job. And in some ways, the brain is that hybrid. It's got the glucose, it's got the ketones. So it's like you're driving that hybrid all the time. I think that there is an entire infrastructure having to do with the Alzheimer's Association, the drug development, the whole pharma industry, the healthcare industry, the big food, as Dr. Robert Lustig points out, it's big food, big pharma, big healthcare. So you've got all this stuff, and billions and billions and billions of dollars are going. They're driving the way we live. They're telling us what food to eat, all this stuff. And now someone comes along and says, no, that's not the way it works. So that's not going to go over well. Over time, of course, the truth wins out. And so as more and more people get better and better, we'll be able to show that this is the right way to go. But these are early days. I look back, at what happened with scurvy. Scurvy, people figured out what was going on in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, and they kept losing it. They would say, hey, maybe it's this, and then the experts would say no. And so they would lose that, and then people would die more and more, and then finally they figured out, it's turning out to be vitamin C. Now we get it. We can prevent this. But people knew about citrus, long ago, and so unfortunately, in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of disruption and rapid progress. In medicine, it's about tradition and permission. There, you don't see rapid progress. You don't see that same disruption. It takes time to make a change, which is unfortunate because people die unnecessarily. But we'll get there.